Hi guys. So it's just Orton here. I'm your big gay trucker for the day. Um, I'm sure y'all seen me last week when I was doing a podcast live from a hospital room. Clearly you can see now I'm back at TDN headquarters, and actually we're packing up TDN headquarters right now because Bobby and Ricky and the whole organization is moving back to Florida. And that's where we were from, and that's where they're going back to. That's where they're happiest. And so, as we all say, go where you're happy. So today's show has a couple of very beautiful young ladies on the show. Um, it's the duo known as Double Truckin'. I think they're more like Double Trouble, but they say Double Truckin'. But anyway, one is Miss Dina and the other one is Miss Sherry. They are a couple, and they're on YouTube, and uh, I'm sure we will get a lot more information about who they are and what they're about and why they're doing the double trucking thing. And so we're gonna bring them on here in a minute. And look, I'm watching them there in the background. Anyway, hey ladies.
Hi.
Hey,
And so everybody, this is double trucking. So if you could please introduce yourselves and why you started the double trucking organization or whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure if you guys are an organization yet or not. Just introduce both yourselves and go from there.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm Dina,
I'm Sherry. Go ahead.
and we are a team. We team drive, and we were asked by our employer if we might be interested in doing some YouTube videos, just showing what life is about. Team driving. There's not a lot of that out there, and so we thought it might be a fun venture. And so we try to just bring a lot of our personality out, show what life is like in the truck as two women partners, what the reality is in the truck. We try to bring a comedic side to it, and just you know show what it's like.
Yeah, we team drive for we team drive for FedEx Ground for a contractor out of Kansas City, Missouri. Um,
Okay.
we have a couple of routes that we do, and we've been together for going on 3 years. And she talked me into this. I've been driving going on my second year, and she's been driving for 5, 6 years.
I've been driving for 6 years. We've been together almost 4 years.
4 years. Oops.
Ah.
4 years.
I've been driving 6 years. She's been driving almost two now, and I did
Right.
kind of twist her arm a little bit and talk to her a little bit about the the benefits of driving as far as income and the things that you get to see out on the road, and just the benefits of it.
Right.
Better money.
So, do you find of course, our founder Bobby Coffee teams drives with his husband Ricky Coffee, and they've been doing it for I think 7 years now. They actually started trucking as a team, and they've been a team ever since. You know, did you guys? So you've been driving for 6 years. So you said you've been driving for two, Sherry.
Going on 2 years in August. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you probably went to a CDL school and did all that kind of stuff and everything, and then automatically hopped in the truck with Dina, right?
Yep. She actually was my trainer. Um,
Oh, okay,
she
okay.
started off
So
as
that
my trainer in the first after school. Um,
okay.
our employer actually paid for me to go to school.
Well, that was cool. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Well,
You don't find that all the time.
our employee, our employer, uh, sponsored her.
Sponsored me. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had to pay it back, but he sponsored me to go to school.
Okay. Well, that's kind of cool.
Mhm.
I wish I would have been with somebody like that. I went with a mm, I went through CDL school through a company, and I wish I never would have. It was the worst mistake I probably could have done. I wish I would have done it through privately or something else like that, because I do not it works for some people. It definitely didn't work for me. We got majorly screwed around and ended up having an IRS dispute and everything with the company I was with, and so yeah.
Yeah,
See,
I had mine paid off in like 8 months.
yeah,
Okay.
I went with the company. I went through a company school and had to work for them for a year,
Right.
and they shut down right after my year was up. I got lucky.
Was it Celadon?
Yes, it was.
So
How'd you know?
actually, oh, when you said, when I was thinking about the amount of years and stuff like that, yeah, that made a lot of sense. Actually, think I think that's who Bobby and Ricky were with Celadon when they went through school, and that was, like I said, 7 years ago,
Yeah.
and that was a big deal. I remember when Celadon shut down, drivers being stuck on the side of the road, had no food, no money.
Yep.
They were just sitting there with trucks running until they ran out of fuel. Yeah, I remember that because the company I was with at the time was USA Truck, and we were being sent out to rescue these drivers to pick them up and bring them back to like the USA yard because they were hiring them directly off the side of the road. And so I remember that time. That it was a bad time. And then when USA did that, they got like a shit ton of their Celadon's trailers, their
Yep.
trucks. And it was because they told Celadon, listen, we'll hire your drivers if we can get this equipment from you at the same time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I left Celadon about a month before all that happened. Thank God.
Yeah. There was a lot of crap going on with that.
Yeah,
And a lot of drivers got just the royal shaft.
they sure did.
So, yeah, I was just talking to a friend of mine about that because we were working for a USA at the same time. And we were just talking about reminiscing about those times. And yeah. But I loved having the Celadon trailers. Those things were amazing.
Yep.
Because at the time, USA Truck had those old pull lever tandems.
Yep.
And all the stuff from Celadon was the air slide. I was like, that was my first introduction to air slide trailers. And I'm like, oh my God, where's this been for the last 4 years?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I ran good for them. They took care of me. And I don't know. I just had this premonition. Of course, I moved to Vegas about 2 months before I quit. And they just said, well, we just don't have a lane out there. So I'm like, well,
Right.
I got to find something else to do because I got to go home, so.
So do you guys find it difficult to... Do you find it difficult being team drivers as a couple sometimes because of the fact that your truck never really stops during the week?
No, I mean, I did. I had an adjustment period as a driver, as a truck driver. I did for the first couple of months. I had an adjustment period because of the space.
Yeah.
So and she warned me. Oh, she was a great trainer, so she warned me that my first year was going to be very difficult. And my first year was a winter route, was a northern route, was Bliss, Idaho.
Nope.
And, and going from Kansas City to Bliss, Idaho,
that.
and then from Kansas City to Hagerstown, Maryland. And you know what? I wouldn't trade it for anything because it really did give me a lot of good experience on a winter road but the first year, getting used to the constraints, confinement, she was very good. Because number one, we had 2 boxers on the truck, plus there was her and I, and getting used to that confined space
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really did.
And plus,
work.
are you guys straight truck or are you guys a 53-foot trailer?
53-foot or
53 and
doubles.
doubles.
Oh, you
Yeah.
nope, you can keep that, girl. No,
Yeah, we pull doubles, and then sometimes we pull 53s because we pull for FedEx ground.
right.
So
So now I will say I even told because Ashley is about to go to truck driving school and everything, and I said if you ask me, the best thing you can do is wait till winter. Go out in the winter time and start. Because if you can make your first year in winter time driving, you can
Yeah,
do anything.
yeah, and she'll
Because
tell you
that's what I did. Fourth
we
run
hit you.
in, Donner.
Oh my God.
well,
Winter.
I did. I finished school the 1st of August, and then I slowly slid into winter, and it was going through Elk Mountain.
Yeah, 2
and-
months in, we're going across Elk and the Sisters and across I-80
Yep.
over into Utah to I-84.
Cabbage.
and I got hit with 60-mile-an-hour gust winds going through Elk Mountain in a blizzard. And it was she would put her seatbelt on. I'm like, yeah, put your seatbelt on. And you know what? She talked me through it, and
That's
like
good
I
though.
said, but it was a little bit. We had our time, but we get along good. We have a California run now that even though we're dedicated, sometimes they lay us over for a long time.
And that was this week. We were like sweating it.
We didn't think we'd get in, and for the last couple of weeks we've gotten out within hours, and lately they've laid us over. Sometimes they've laid us over as long as 32 hours. And
So now
we get frustrated and it pisses us off. And
yeah.
sometimes we get frustrated at each other. So we have to sit back and we have to talk about it.
Thank God we've got that relationship. We've got a really good
communication.
We've got good communication skills, and so that really helps with that. So
that's good. Hold on 1 second. Go lay down. You're fine. My dog.
One of those too.
Well, no, I was, of course, in the hospital for 11 days, so she really didn't. She saw me twice while I was in there, and I've been back since yesterday. And anytime right now, she's got a door between me and her. She can see me, but she's still freaking out.
that's not good enough.
So now, what? Okay, so you had also asked me before we got on live if we were going to be live or if it was going to be recorded and uploaded, stuff like that. So just so you know, currently you are live on 8 different platforms.
Oh, wow.
After we're done, I will upload everything, and then it gets stripped, and then it gets uploaded to, I do believe, 20 other platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, everything you can pretty much find a podcast on, it gets uploaded.
Wow!
But currently, you are live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, X, which is Twitter, Instagram. And we don't have enough followers on TikTok to be able to go live there, but as soon as we do, that will be linked into it as well, and we'll be live on there when we go live as well.
That's awesome. Wow.
So yeah.
I told you to put my makeup on.
Girl, please. Do you know how long Bobby calls me and says, "Hey, I'm still driving. You're going to have to do this." Well, I've been breaking down the office, and the podcast equipment is like completely all packed away now. So I'm working with you guys right now on my phone, and I'm like, okay, so if I put my phone there, the background, okay, we'll be okay. So
where are you moving to in Florida?
They're going to Palm Coast, Florida, which is between St. Augustine Beach
Mhm.
and Daytona Beach.
I lived in Florida for 20 years.
Okay, what part?
10 years in Tampa and 10 years in Sarasota.
So before they moved up here to Kentucky, they lived down in Newport Richey, which is where
Uh-huh.
the organization is based out of,
It's just south of Tampa. Or
just north of it.
St. Pete. Yeah, St.
Yep,
Pete. Yep.
yep,
That's it.
yep. And
Wow.
now the current place that they're going to, and that TDN the headquarters will be, is like 4 miles off of the beach, off of the ocean, and it's just surrounded by absolute beauty. And so it'll be a little bit different of a change because they're used to the Gulf Coast side, so now they're going to be living on the East Coast. So, but they're
I
really
wouldn't,
excited about it.
I wouldn't change the golf. I'd go to the golf. I like the golf too much.
See, I personally lived on the Gulf Coast for 9 years down in southeast Mississippi,
Mhm.
and so it wasn't my favorite thing in the whole world because it just gets so humid. It's that kind where you open your back door or your front door and it's like, nope, not today.
That's the way I am. I was
I-
raised in Arkansas, and I'm like, I just don't want to do any humidity.
I love Arkansas.
I love Florida humidity. She
I'd
likes
rather
the
be out
dry
west.
heat. I love the Florida humidity.
I love
You
going
see,
out west.
I like out west. I like going out there, seeing the stuff, and then coming right back because I don't want to be spending too much time out there.
Yeah.
And you see, I personally am originally from Michigan, born and bred, and then in I think it was like 2011, moved down to Mississippi with my dad and my stepmom and stuff like that, and we were down there for 9 years. Then I lived in Florida for a year on my own, and then I was still in healthcare back then, so
Yeah.
I ran group homes and stuff like that, and then I had a sordid history, and got things happened, and when I came out of rehab, I couldn't find work because of my history at that point, and so everything I seen when I came out of rehab was CDLA this, CDLA that. This is 8 years ago. So no, yeah, almost 9 years ago now. And back then, oh my word, all you had to do was throw a stone and you found a job.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's what it was. And I went to truck driving school and haven't been in the healthcare field since. And left my nursing career of 16 years behind. And yeah.
Sounds familiar, huh?
I was a surgical scrub, surgical
Okay.
first for 20 years.
I was a teacher.
Okay. Yeah, actually, Bobby was a nurse for 16 years. I was a nurse for 16 years. Our vice president, Derek, he has worked in the healthcare industry, and as a matter of fact, on his time off, is still a part-time EMT. So yeah, we all kind of came from the same areas and ended up in trucking. Derek's been driving a lot longer though. He's been driving for 20 years, I think. 20 or something like that. He's old, so.
I told her when I first met her, we met on Facebook, Facebook dating.
Yeah.
That's how we met. And when we first got together, I found out she was a truck driver. I said, I would never, ever drive one of those trucks.
You lied.
I did. I told her.
I said, well, we'll see about that.
I said, I would
Right?
never, ever drive one of those trucks.
I said, and look, here you are.
And a year later, she had me in trucking school.
So you're a convincing woman then, huh?
We're both Virgos.
I sell a bridge in
Oh.
Arizona.
We're both
Lord.
Virgos.
My mother was a Virgo. Never mind. Enough said, ladies.
She convinced me.
So other than YouTube, do you guys have a channel anywhere else other than on YouTube?
No, I've been, it's been recommended to me to reach out to Instagram and TikTok, but
I've only
I
been
haven't.
doing this for
Yeah, I've only been doing this for like 3 months now.
3 months.
So
Well, I know you're pretty popular at this point already.
We're getting there.
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with our progress so far. I'm kind of interested in maybe reaching out, maybe stretching out a little bit to some other platforms.
Yeah.
Not really quite sure which direction to go on that.
We want people to
Well,
give us more.
if you guys ever need help with anything, want to know which ones to reach out to, which one's best, feel free to reach out to Bobby, Derek, or myself, and we can definitely point you in the right direction. And
Appreciate
so
that.
yeah.
We'd like to have more ideas on more videos. That if people want more ideas on more videos for us to do and stuff like that,
Well, definitely feel free to go if you utilize our organization, utilize the group itself, and be like, hey, here's our stuff. What would you like to see? Just do the tag of at everyone, and
Okay.
believe it or not, we use that tag, and we get a lot of not always the best responses, but for the most part, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's like there was a person yesterday who was like complaining about how we have had a one post on there, and I'm sure you've seen it. It says top or bottom, and all they're worried about is they're like, oh well, I'm so glad you're focused on trucking. Well, sweetheart, this is not just a trucking group.
Right.
This is for the LGBTQ. We get into everything.
Right.
Everybody knows sex happens on the road. There's a lot of that mindset of what happens on the road stays on the road kind of situations. And, it's part of life, and that's how it is. And, so yeah, it's just like, stop being so narrow minded. This is not just trucking,
Right.
we talk to everyone, and that's what Bobby has set out for it to be, is for everyone.
Yeah.
So we advocate for everybody. If we can't advocate for ourselves, there's no reason to advocate for anybody else. And that's actually one thing I dealt with in the hospital this last week. And that was one of Bobby's lines to me. He says, "Well, if you can't advocate for yourself, there's no reason for you to advocate on the group."
Mm-hmm.
Right.
One of the things. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
One of the things that I really like about your Facebook page is that there isn't this aggression that I see on the other trucking pages. There's not this good old boy aggression, and it's not this, this racist or homophobic aggression. And that's one thing I really enjoy about your Facebook page.
Well, thank you.
Is that I can go on there and the comments are not aggressive. I don't know if they're.
We get them. We do get them. I mean, and there's a lot of keyboard warriors out there, and there's definitely one that drives for a company that you are extremely close to, but we are not naming names today. But
right,
she likes to open her mouth and get on her little keyboard and go to town, and that's fine. But there's a time and a place for that. And if you're gonna sit there and you're gonna badmouth people that you don't even know,
right,
and nothing about,
right,
yeah,
I have no problem going in there and taking your ass out of it.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
yeah. I have no. Like my mind's. I have a hard time wrapping my mind around people like that. Like I can't follow your. I can't follow your mindset.
Yeah.
Where you get off on doing shit like
the
that?
problem is a lot of the other trucking Facebook groups that the actual administrators start it. They will start the problem.
Yeah.
And
we don't start it. We don't start it, but if we have to, we will finish it.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. And
because we got three queen bitches in this on this board, and I kid you not, if you piss one off, you will piss them all.
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
Yeah.
And so, and I do thank you guys, because it's nice to get feedback and stuff that and that we are doing the proper things, and that people are noticing it, and that's
right.
It takes a while. There was at one point in time we were at like 1,900 members, and then with in a quickness, we went from like 1900 to 2800 to 3500.
Right.
And I think right now we're at almost 3700. So,
Right.
Right.
and that's just the people who can actually follow the group. You know, there's so many people that are like, well, you need to make your group private. No, we can't
No.
do that because there are people out there that can look at the group, but they don't follow the group because they don't want to be known who they are. And we
Right.
understand
Yes.
that those people are there. We have closeted people. We get that.
Yes.
You know, we've all been there. Most of us,
Yes.
I could
Right.
say, have been all been there.
Yeah.
So there are people out there that don't have a voice, and that's what we are here for.
Yeah.
So we make it public so anybody can come in and look because I run numbers every week.
Right.
And yes, we have 37, 35, 36, 3,700 members that follow the group.
Right.
But I kid you not, we have anywhere between 20 and 30,000 that come into this group every single week
Mhm.
that don't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so, and I know for a fact that currently in the trucking industry, I do believe we have anywhere between 35, they say between 35 and 45,000 people who identify as LGBTQ. I can almost guarantee you it's probably more like 110,
Oh,
120.
definitely. Definitely.
You know,
Yeah.
we've always been here. We're not going anywhere.
Right.
Right.
You know, just shut up and deal with it. Lighten up. Learn to live with a lot. You know, it's 2024. Come on now.
And
Yeah.
you know, like you said, if you want to, if you make it private, then they feel like, just like you said, they feel they're going to feel ostracized. Like
Yeah.
it's only
Because see, when you hit that follow button, it will pop up in your Facebook news feed that anybody can see,
right.
Yeah.
and so people, you know, you can't. Some people just can't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We
And that's
get
okay.
that.
Yeah.
That's all good.
That's who we're here for. You know, we're here for everyone, but we're really here for the ones that, you know, are sitting in their truck thinking they're the only gay person in the industry.
Right.
right.
Yeah.
There, one instance that I can think of.
But it's
and
not
I'm
a
sorry, I
dating
don't.
app. It's not a
It,
dating app.
it's not a dating app. We delete those posts at least 4 a day.
Wow.
It's not
The
a dating app.
pornos, and the different things that, you know, before. I mean, skimming some of the pictures. I'll screenshot before I hit the decline button. I ain't gonna lie.
You go.
You know, it's like, here, I'm gonna use this for reference later.
Great dick pics are only for you, right?
Exactly. I mean, and I know I'm not the only one who does it. We have 18 moderators in this group, and so, you know, I'm sure there's a few that are like, oh, look at that girl, you know, it's that. I ain't gonna lie. So now, what is your least favorite thing that Dean? I'm gonna ask you this because you have been in it longer first.
Okay.
What is your least favorite thing that you have seen in the industry over the last 5 years?
The least favorite thing that I have seen, just in general, as a woman, as a lesbian, as
Whatever makes you want to answer the question. Like, because let's take it. All right, let's take it step by step. As a female driver in the last 5 years, what is the worst thing that you have seen, or like that you don't like the most?
being disrespected by men.
Okay, as a lesbian driver.
Just as a woman.
Just generally speaking, there's a lot of the good old boys that just they're finding it hard. I believe that, just from my opinion, just from some of the approach that I've gotten, you know, at fuel stops, whatever.
There's a lot
I
of
feel like
frustration.
that there's some frustration about women being in a man's job,
Hmm.
and it really comes across in interaction.
Right.
That really, I'm just out there trying to do a job. I'm not out there trying to bother nobody's husband. I'm not trying to. I'm just doing a job. And for you to come at me like I'm, they can be really,
Aggressive.
they can be aggressive, and they can be really cynical
Okay.
to women sometimes.
So, as a couple, as a lesbian gay couple, have you found any like major discrimination or anything else like that from maybe not only just drivers but like shippers and receivers or anything along those lines?
I don't think so. Not in shipping and receiving, because we go from terminal to terminal, so
Mhm.
we really don't deal with that. Now she ran into not us together, but she ran into an instance at a rest area where a elderly couple
I
really
got ran out of a bathroom.
ran her out of a restroom. Just really, but not as
Wow.
not when we've been together. Now we'll get
Right.
looks. We'll get looks. Like people turn their nose up at us and stuff. But you know how it is, Jess. You just learn to just keep going.
Yep. I do get that.
I got ran out of a bathroom by.
But she
by-
really
by-
got
literally got ran out of a bathroom, and all the way up.
That's
to the
horrible.
top.
yeah, it was bad. I was in sleeper asleep. I swear to God, I'd have come out of the truck.
I had a woman talking in tongues, literally at me,
Chanting, talking in tongues,
telling me I was the
spawn of the devil.
Satan.
Yeah.
And all
See,
was
I
doing-
get and
all I was
how
doing-
if you don't mind me asking, how did you respond to that?
I really
Please, lady, I'm just trying to take a shit.
pretty much. And
Yeah,
and
see, I'd have looked at her and been like, "Oh, well, thank you for noticing who I am."
well, I really went to the truck for the most part because the truck had a camera on it. Truck's
Yeah.
got a front-facing camera, and I thought
Yep.
if they were going to do anything to me, at least I'm in the truck. And
Right.
she found out about it, and she goes, "I would have knocked the shit out of him."
I would
said,
have come
I said,
out of
"Dina,"
that truck had she woke me up.
I said, "Dina, I'm in a FedEx truck. I had at the time I had my FedEx shirt on,
Right.
and I mean, I'm not a small-breasted woman either, so I'm sticking my chest up, and he's like, I don't care what you look, I mean, he's going after me, and I was just like, I
They
can't
literally walked after her, Jess, all the
believe
way out
this.
to the truck parking at the rest area and followed her out to the
That's
truck.
ridiculous.
and I was just like, I gotta go, I gotta get out of here,
Yeah.
because we all know
It's definitely that fight or flight, instinct thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the other thing is that once I'm in the truck, I have Trace in this truck, this boxer, and he will let no one near that truck. This dog,
As small as that thing is right there, she's the same way.
Yeah.
and Trace will not, especially men, Trace will not let any man near this truck. So
She's
I
like
was
that. She's like that with female drivers.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was good. Like, okay, let's just give me in the
Okay,
truck.
so Sherry, let me ask you this, because you've only been doing this for 2 years. So you're still, I hate to say this because I used to hate people saying this. You're still the newbie. You got that what we used to call us greenies or some shit like that.
The rookie,
Anyway,
I'm out
yeah.
of. She said I'm out of my rookie year, but I'm still new. I'm still learning. It's
Right.
all good.
So, did y'all freeze?
No, we're here.
We're here. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Okay, that was me. I am so sorry.
That's all right.
That the Wi-Fi just was like, nope, not today, bitch. As a 2-year driver, what is your opinion of the industry as a
Um,
female lesbian driver?
I think it frustrates me sometimes when I see other truck drivers get upset about the industry because I know that I I'm happy with what I do.
Right.
Um, I'm on a dedicated route. But it does frustrate me because there are a lot of truck drivers that are frustrated out there with the way the freight is.
Yeah.
I think they're going, it's just like we discussed it. And I think they're going like, they're thinking that it should be like COVID rates. And I think there's a lot of frustration out there. I think there's a lot of CDL drivers out there that don't need to be out on the road that have that need to go back to school.
Yeah.
My third month out on driving, I was in Idaho and got almost ran off the road by another truck driver. I mean, there are some truck drivers out there that's the biggest frustration I have is that, like she said, there are professional truck drivers and there are ones that call themselves master truck drivers because
Super
there's
truckers.
There you go.
super truckers. And there are truck drivers out there that, I I I have enough to worry about the four-wheelers that can't drive out there, let alone some of these truck drivers that
Yeah.
literally cut you off with 3 feet to spare in front of me. And
I'll be right back.
that's my biggest frustration is
Yeah.
some of these truck drivers that just do not need to be out on the road because they're driving
Oh,
when it,
and I kind of chalk that up a lot of times to these trucking schools who are pushing these drivers through, not even teaching them the fundamentals. It's like, hey, here's how you do a post trip, and go.
pre-trip, you know how many hours I had out on the road before I went to work? Less than 2 hours out on the road.
Oh, good lord, that would never would have flown with
I'm
my
not
trucking
kidding you.
companies.
They teach you to pass that CDL.
Yep.
That's all it was literally 2 hours out on the highway. That's all I had.
Well, I don't know if you've seen a post that one of our really big allies, Trucker G, put up on our group just the other day. It literally it had word for word instructions on how to slide your tandems on the side of this trailer that he picked up.
Yes, I saw
And
that.
it's like, it is sad when you have to put in there word for word to rock your truck back and forth to make sure it's I mean, really?
Yep.
Do you know
See,
what?
they taught us. They taught in trucking school. They taught us how to slide tandems, how to couple up to that trailer, how to lower landing gears. They don't teach them that anymore. Do you know
Do
how
you know
many
what?
drivers have dropped trailers because they didn't put the landing gears up or put them down? It's like, are you serious right now?
I actually saved that because I've never learned to slide a tandem. I know
Really?
I know slightly how to slide a tandem, but I never learned it actually in school. I know partially how to slide a tandem, but I actually
Yeah.
saved that just in case I ever had to slide a tandem.
Like we were taught when I went into trucking school, we were actually taught how to read a scale ticket and exactly how to fix said scale issues and everything else like that. And I kid you not, for probably the first 3 years of my career, I never once had to scale a load because they rammed it into our head so much of how to know where to put your tandems that every once in a while I would scale it out and then I'd be like, oh, look, I still know what I'm doing. So,
That's cool.
there
I
are
wasn't
times
taught that
now,
early.
now that I'm old, I've gotten to the point of, okay, maybe I should start doing this. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just they push so many drivers through without teaching them the really true basic fundamentals of trucking.
Yeah, they're just pushing them
I'll be
through.
perfectly honest. My school was set up for a 3-week course.
3-week course just to pass the CDL driving
But
test. That's
I-
not good enough.
I actually it took me 5 weeks.
I did 3 weeks in class training,
Yeah.
and then we were 4 weeks out on the road and in the field and stuff like that. Then we were told to go through and, okay, now you're going to get your CDL.
Mine was 1 day in class training. Every day after that was out on the pad, and 1.5 to 2 hours maybe out on the road. That was it. And I was so frustrated. I told her I was so frustrated about it. And then they expected me to pass the CDL my first time, and I didn't pass my CDL the first time. I didn't pass it the second time either. But I eventually passed it.
But I mean, it's not like when you get put in a truck with 3 other students and you're rotated through, you got 3 hours to be out on the road to drive, and you've got 4 students in there that get,
We
a
had
15
every student, we had 17 students in my CDL training, and every single student was required to have at least, before they could leave the trucking school, 48 hours of road time.
See, that's
When I got in the truck, she could tell you. Tell her what I
oh my God.
what I look like when I first got-
she didn't talk to me for 3 days, Jess. She was like, oh my God. Like, I don't know if
She was white knuckling that steering wheel, wasn't she?
she was like walking in a fog. It was like
here
a
I was
daze.
going up these mountains, going down these mountains, going down 6-7% grades, and I was white knuckling.
That was the first time she'd been in the truck.
You got to understand that I
And that's fucking ridiculous, if you ask me. I'm sorry,
It
and
is.
it's no offense
It
to
is.
you.
I
No
drove-
offense to you at all, but it's like, why? Why are you putting drivers like that out on the roads with these? And the bad part is, here's the other bad part about all that, is when you private pay for this school just to do that, and these guys go out there saying, I'm going to own my own truck now.
Right.
And you don't know shit.
Right. Don't know not one thing about the business.
Exactly.
The trucking business. Not even, and not a shit about driving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, and then another aspect of that is she was in her 50s doing this. A lot of these kids are going to school at 21, 24, 28, and they're not mature.
50? Wait a minute. Hold on.
I'm 57.
Bullshit. You don't look a day over 34.
I'm
What?
57 years old.
I mean, and Dina over here looks like at least 29, 30.
60, baby.
But, it's ridiculous. So
really
here's
is.
here's the main question, what and I hate to use this term, really do, for some reason, I don't know why. As a lesbian couple team, what would you tell other couples that are wanting to get involved in this industry? What would you tell them? I mean, what would your advice be for couples who are wanting to get into this?
As a team drive, I would say make sure that you are able to really cohabitate together closely, communicate together closely. What else?
A brand new team or experienced, or I mean, a brand new team. I don't think that a brand new team, brand new drivers need to go in the venture together. because there's too much to it. I think one person needs to be experienced to help the new person.
Right.
That's a struggle with two new people trying to learn it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good experience. That's one of the things, the one reason why I thought it would be a great idea for us to do the channel and to put us out there is because I think that it's a great thing for women to be in trucking. It gives us an opportunity to be together. It gives us an opportunity to make a great income. I think if women are considering making a career change, we both made career changes late in our lives. I was a former teacher. She was a surge tech. We made career changes late in our life. If you're considering doing that, that's why I want to put it out there. I want them to see that, hey, there are struggles, but there's struggles in every job. But it's definitely it's rewarding. When I first went into trucking, I literally felt like I was getting paid vacation because I was getting to see the country. I wasn't on a dedicated route, so I was being able to do my 34s on the road where I could, get a hotel room and go do things. Now I haven't had the opportunity to do things like that with her. And I kind of hate that, but I would say lesbian couples, if you want to do something like this, go do it. If you can fund the school or get a grant or get some sort of financial backing to do it, do it. It's fun. It's rewarding. It's fun to be together, especially if you've got a strong relationship.
And you have to have that. That is the most important thing. You really have to have a strong relationship. And you have to be able to sit back when you guys are frustrated with each other. You've got to be able to sit back and leave it alone you got to leave it alone for a minute.
Yeah.
We had that this week with California.
We had
a very frustrating week.
Yeah, you gotta leave it alone.
I said, well, I'm not ready to talk about it yet.
Yep, because we really do decide that we do not argue in that truck together.
That's
every
good.
once
That's
in a
a
while
good thing.
every once in a while we have it. We'll say off things, and then it's like, okay, we got to step back for a minute because that truck is our home for many, many days.
Right.
And if you don't have that strong relationship and that trust in each other, because we have to sleep behind each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
And and I'm very fortunate that she has a lot of trust in me as a new driver, that she sleeps very well behind me. And
I hear you.
She told me the other day,
Hey, Jess, melatonin helps.
She told me the other day, you told me that I've turned out to be a very good driver.
She's a damn good driver. Even though she was this for 3 days.
Right.
But you got to have a lot of trust and a lot of good communication.
Yeah.
You better have it.
You got to, if you're a lady out there, a couple that's thinking this might be a good thing, before you actually bite the bullet and do it, really sit down with each other and then sit apart from each other and really do some self-reflection and decide, okay, are we really can we withstand this? Because we are together 24/7.
It can be very quickly a relationship killer.
Yeah, because the thing is,
especially if you're a couple going into it. But unfortunately, as I have found out many times, it can be a relationship killer when you're a solo driver as well.
Yes, it can.
And it was very hard on us the first year because she was out on the road.
I was on the road. She was not.
I was not.
It's hard.
And it was very hard because it was the beginning of our relationship. And it was just like, I'd only see her on the weekends.
And, with the way I ran, I might come home on Saturday or I might be home on Sunday and leave right back out on Monday. And we barely saw each other.
Right.
So that's how she talked to me.
Well, I'll tell you what. we are all out of time, and I apologize. Would love to, continue the conversation and everything. But I do want to thank you guys for coming on the podcast today and to talk about everything very candidly about things. And so, is there anything you would like to say before I sign you guys off on the podcast?
Just thank you so much for having us. We appreciate the opportunity to be here with you and work with you and collaborate with you, and wish you the best and hope you get to feeling all the better every day, and
Thank you.
wish you guys the best.
Really appreciate
And
it.
how can people find you?
YouTube, Double Trucking,
Without
Double
the
trucking.
without the ing, just trucking with an N.
All right. As you can see it on there, folks, you can probably see it on the actual screen. That is how you find them on YouTube. But I do want to thank both of you for being here today and for sharing your life and your experiences and stuff like that with us. We appreciate it all.
Thank you so much, Jess.
Thank you.
Not a problem. You guys have an amazing day, okay?
Thanks.
All right.
You too. Be
See
well.
ya.
All right. Thanks. All right, guys. So that was Dina and Sherry from Double Trucking. And well, like I said, I want to thank them so much for being here and for doing everything that they do and for being those good drivers out there that we can look forward to driving up and down the roads with, because there's, like she said, there is way too many out there that have no clue what the hell they're doing. At this time, I want to take and talk about one thing really quick before I end this podcast. I want to talk about hygiene and health and taking care of yourself out on the road. I entered into the hospital this time once again for the third time because I didn't take care of myself. I didn't do the things that I needed to do, and I didn't get out of the truck, and I didn't walk around. And I always, I know I always say these things on lives, and every once in a while you'll see me on a live where I'm walking around and stuff like that. But let me tell you, I don't do it as much as I should. And ended up in the hospital. It was my fault because I didn't take care of myself. And I want you guys, and I don't want people to feel sorry for me or anything else like that, because I put my damn self there. And please remember, as drivers, we need to take care of our health. We need to take care of our mental health. My mental health has not been the greatest lately, but I have an amazing, amazing support group through this organization. If it wasn't for this organization, I can guarantee you I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you and just talking to these amazing ladies who do what they do. I have been on the brink of suicide more times than I can count ever since I was the age of 16. And more times than I can count, Bobby and Derek and Ashley and Tabitha have brought me from the brink of hell. And once again, I put myself there. I put myself in that dark place. And I drove when I shouldn't have drove. And shit happens. It really does. Remember, hygiene. As a big man, I don't always shower like I should. I have literally had to be told, just, you need to go and take a shower. The truck itself becomes a safety net, and it becomes the area where I don't want to leave because that's where I feel safe. That's where I feel sound. And it's not just me. I know there's so many drivers out there, and you're probably thinking you're the only one that's dealing with it. You're not. If you feel like that you're the only one dealing with something like that, please reach out to me. I will be here. I can talk to you. I can give advice all day, but taking it is a whole other story. I get that. Your mental health, if you are having any issues with mental health, please call our partners at 988. They're there for you no matter what, any time of day. We are here for you no matter what, any time of day. Our phone numbers are literally all over this page and in this group. Let me tell you, it's not easy out there. I ended one job last week, and I'm not fully ready to go into the next one. but I have to do what I have to do because bills are piling up. And just please promise me that as drivers, you need to be looking out for each other. If you're worried about a driver, don't stay worried. Call that driver. Do what you have to do to make sure that driver is okay because sometimes they're not. And we all struggle. I don't care who you are. We all struggle. And I just want to thank everybody in this group for all the love and the support and everything else that I have gotten in this last week. You don't even know how much it means to me. I love this organization. I will do what I have to do for this organization. I will fight for this organization. I will fight for every single one of you. If you need me to fight for you, I'm right here. Because because you fight for me and I fight for you. That's just how it is. It's been a hard week. Understand that these are not tears because I'm sad. These are tears because without this organization, I wouldn't be here. Which is funny because my third interaction with Bobby told me there are 3 dots at the top of this page. Use it and get the fuck out. Here I am 2 years later, and I am one of the top people in this organization. And I could lose that at any point in time. This organization helps people. So if you need help, reach out. Just reach out. That's all it takes. And I know it can be scary. Sometimes you just got to step out of your comfort zone and be who you're not usually. But I want to thank everyone who does everything they can to help this organization stay going and for all the donations and everything that people do. And if anybody is going to be in the Bowling Green, Kentucky area and next weekend, we're going to be moving. We're going to be packing a 53-foot Swift trailer right out here outside this house. And they're going to be taking it to Palm Coast, Florida. If you're going to be in that area on Sunday, they'll be there to unload it all. But I want to thank everyone for this day. And I want to thank everyone for being who they are and for being real and being who they are. Be you. Don't be afraid. If you're afraid, that's okay too, though. It's okay not to be okay. Always understand that. So, as I end every single podcast, stand up, stand out, and always please remember to stand proud.